And that is out for a throw into Uruguay midway inside the Portuguese half. And Portugal are going to need something new in the second half, Theo. They're going to have to step it up. Difficult to see exactly in what shape that's going to come, but they're going to need more than what we've seen in this 45.
Yes, they're trying to unlock Uruguay, but nothing as yet. They've tried left wing, they've tried right wing, they've tried to go through the middle with some really good football, but very organised Uruguay, very stubborn in allowing any shots on target, any crosses to come in. They're stopping the crosses at source, don't allow it into the box. Fullbacks working really hard.
As the rest prepares to take the throw in on the right-hand side. Uruguay, deep in stoppage time here at the end of the first half, have committed a lot of bodies forward. Cáceres has given it the longest run-up he can. Here, whoa, what a throw that is, by the way. Beyond the penalty spot when Pepe lunged and headed it away. That was an enormous throw. Portugal clear it away. Godin hammers it back into the mix, high and hopeful. Comes down inside the penalty area. Cavani with another one of his glorious touches. Hits it with the second attempt and puts it wide. What a goal that would have been.
I don't know what Godin was doing there. He just actually launched it from the centre circle, high as possible towards the Portuguese goal, and Cavani brings it down with a half-average touch compared to his standards, and he gets a shot off. Very good work.
There we go, the whistle for half-time. So, advantage Uruguay. Cavani's goal came early. Portuguese players make their way to the tunnel, and they need to step up their game, or Cristiano Ronaldo and company are going home.
Yeah, they need something new. They've got to try a different way of scoring, getting chances on goal. Uruguay, organised, stubborn, going into a 4-4-1-1 when they haven't got the ball, occupying the two centre halves of Portugal. It's an even Stevens game when it comes to possession, but one chance, one goal.
Brilliant goal it was too, Kelly. Uruguay lead Portugal by 1-0.
Connor, thank you very much. Dion, if I remember correctly, you're a big admirer of Cavani, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, yes. He's very good looking. No, for me, he's the one that's the unsung hero when it comes to goals and hard work, and does all that work that a centre-forward really doesn't want to do, but his goal was outstanding. One of those goals you think, well, listen, if that goes in, it'll go in 1 in 100. He caught it right, he worked hard, deserved the goal. Great ball in from Suarez, and Uruguay deserve to be one up at the moment.
Dion and Connor, thanks very much for now. We'll be back in Sochi for the second half of Uruguay against Portugal. Guillaume Balaguer's been watching here in Australia. What's your take on it, Guillaume?
It's 4 goals for the strikers of Uruguay. It's non-goal conceded so far in the World Cup. Everything that they try is going to plan. And you have to admire the way that they're playing every single minute. If it's the last minute of the World Cup final, they just give absolutely everything. And it's so difficult to do that because you really need to believe that's the way to win. You need to be committed to it. You need to be able to suffer a lot of things that you don't normally get from 11 players at the same time. Cavani was defending on the edge of the box, so from that point of view, if you want to beat that, you need coordination, you need 1-2s, you need technical ability, vision from the midfielders, huge amount of things. And Portugal have got mostly set pieces, free kicks, and of course the danger of a header from Ronaldo, not much more.
Let's bring in Tim Vickery, because Tim, this is a Uruguay performance that just gives more weight to this theory that they could really progress in this tournament. They look, 1, like a team who can score, and 2, like a team you wouldn't want to play against.
Indeed, yeah, so far basic mathematics. Suarez plus Cavani equals more than Ronaldo, especially when you can stretch the defence like that. What a fantastic 1-2, what a fantastic goal. And still in the tournament, 4 games, Muslera has hardly had a shot to save. You do wonder with VAR and so on if there's a chance of a penalty or something, or another set piece around the goal area for Portugal to get back into it. But apart from that, you can't see them breaking down Uruguay at the moment.
And so this one's South America very much in command against Portugal. Earlier, though, we saw Argentina struggle really against France. Even though the 4-3 scoreline was quite narrow, it led to questions being asked about Sampaoli and his future as Argentina coach. What did he say?
He's staying on, and I think there's a very good reason for that. If he's sacked, he's owed a fortune, and the Argentine FA don't have the money to get rid of him. So there could be some negotiations going on. I always thought it was a strange appointment, Sampaoli, for two reasons. Firstly, his game plan didn't fit the players that Argentina have. When they were a shambles, they should have lost by far more than 4-3 today.
What was his game plan, Tim?
Second, but when his game plan when he took over, the high line, the high press, and Argentina just don't have the defenders for that. But the second reason I always thought it was a surprise was Argentina were talking about redoing their under-20 project when they were so good at under-20 level, and they were looking for Sampaoli to plot for the future. But when he was in charge with Chile, he didn't do anything with that. In fact, when he was in charge of the Chile senior team, he treated the under-20 team very badly. He hardly even let them train on the same pitches. So it was always a difficult fit. We will see if he's able to hang on, because public opinion will definitely be against him. But whether he stays or whether someone else comes in, they've got a huge job to do, because they have to start from scratch now. It's a very old side. Some of them I think will go, and some of them have already announced their retirement. Others will follow. And you can't see at the moment where the new players are coming from. There's a Copa America in Brazil a year from now. I'll be very interested to see what side Argentina take to that tournament.
Sampaoli treated this job as if he was only going to be in the World Cup, and he was just waiting for the coin to go heads, because he tried 3 at the back, and then 4 at the back, and then Benega was out, and then he came in, and then Di Maria was out, and then he came in, and he uses against France for the first time in his time with Argentina a false 9, so not a clear idea. Enzo Perez was out and then comes in because of Lanzini's injury, and then becomes so important. No idea what the plan was, when he actually could have been thinking. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but well, there are structural problems with Argentina. I can solve them if you give me the time. Let's see what we can do here. But no, instead he was just trying to find the perfect solution every single day, and that's not how you should manage a national side.
As Tim said,
it's called sham followed by balls.
You said, Tim, about some of the senior players already announcing their retirement from international football. Javier Mascherano is one of those, and watching that performance, it may not come as too much of a surprise that he's decided to do that. Yeah. But of course, the big question is about Lionel Messi. Guillaume, you know him and how he works, and his face at the end was empty, you described it as.
It was the same face that he had 2 years ago when he announced his retirement in the mix zone, and that's important because he may have thought about it, but he learned from that experience. He knows that he cannot do anything on the heat of the moment, and now he's going to be thinking about the future, because he's 31. He was only 31 last week, and perhaps he should be thinking of what to do next. What I know for certain is that none of it has been discussed with his people, with his family, none of it. But let's say that everybody expects this to be raised in the summer. Summer tends to be an important part of everybody's life, because it's time for reflection, and in the case of Leo Messi, that's exactly what's going to happen.
There was a case of almost now or never that we've talked about before, Tim, as far as Argentina are concerned. Is it almost a case of actually that was never the case? It was already too late.
Yes, and they all knew that. You could see the reaction of the players at the end. They weren't distraught. They probably got away with it a little bit, because it could have been an absolutely humiliating defeat. And Messi said when the squad joined together in Buenos Aires at the end of May, he said, "Well, look, we're not amongst the leading candidates to win this thing." And that's the first time Argentina have said that for some time. So I think they knew. The opportunities came. I actually think that their big opportunity to win was 2006, when they went out to the Germans on penalties in the quarter-final. I think they could have won it that year. Since then, they've been gambling on little flashes of individual genius, and Mascherano to hold the defence together. He can no longer do that, and they have been an absolute shambles.
Tim, thank you very much for joining us. We'll speak to Tim Vickery again at full time in this match between Uruguay and Portugal. Uruguay 1-0 up in Sochi. Cavani with the goal. Great header from a great Luis Suarez pass, wasn't it, Guillaume?
It was fantastic, and it is how Uruguay were attacking. They were very direct when they could. The cross came from the left-hand side, a right-footed cross, and Cavani just headed it. When you hit it, when it hits your face, do you still call it headed?
Well, your face is on your head. So
okay.
Biologically, you're correct. More from Guillaume Balaguer in a football sense as the evening progresses. We'll bring you the second half of Uruguay against Portugal, and we'll round up the rest of the day's sports stories after the BBC News.
on digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
With the headlines on 5 Live, I'm Davinia Ramos. An investigation's taking place after 4 men were killed in a crash in Leeds. It happened on the Outer Ring Road in Horsforth in the early hours of this morning and involved a Seat Leon and a taxi. 2 teenage girls and the cab driver have been taken to hospital. Richard Padwell is from West Yorkshire Police.
We're carrying out a thorough and detailed investigation into the circumstances of the collision, and we'd be very keen to hear from anybody who has any information about the collision itself or the immediate circumstances leading up to it.
Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service say a moorland fire on Winter Hill near Bolton is a major incident. It's merged with one on Scout Road. Firefighters are also still trying to contain the fire on Saddleworth Moor. Plans being drawn up by NHS England could see breast reductions and tonsil removals being offered to fewer patients from next year. If it goes ahead, it could save the health service around £200 million a year. Meanwhile, thousands of people have been taking part in a march through central London to protest at what they say is the underfunding of the NHS. These demonstrators said the health service is under strain and needs urgent help.
The pressure is constant, but nothing is being done to put the resources in to actually ease that pressure.
Because of the shortages in nursing in general, there's over 40,000 vacancies. We're feeling it left, right and centre. There's not enough staff on the wards.
We are so fortunate to have the NHS when we look at healthcare models overseas.
Protests against Donald Trump's immigration policies are taking place across the US. Tens of thousands of people are calling for migrant children separated from their parents at the US border to be reunited. And events have been taking place across the world to mark the UK's Armed Forces Day. Theresa May attended an event in Wales and met military personnel, volunteers and members of the public.
Lewis Hamilton is driving towards the final corner on this Paul Ricard circuit. He started on pole position. He's dominated it from the front. Hamilton out of the final corner wins and retakes the championship lead after victory at the French Grand Prix. A superb drive from Hamilton, dominant, and he's back in the lead of the championship.
Next, the Austrian Grand Prix. Live race commentary from 2 on Sunday. F1. On 5 Live Sports Extra. Live from Russia, this is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates.
Hello, welcome back to our Red Square studio here in Moscow. It's currently Uruguay 1, Portugal 0 at half-time in Sochi. Second half of that game is coming up. Elsewhere, it's a Mercedes 1-2 at tomorrow's Austrian Grand Prix. But it wasn't such a good day for Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel. F1 commentator Jack Nicholls joins us. So what happened, Jack?
Well, it was a very impressive performance from Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. It now means that of the 8 races so far, he's out-qualified Lewis Hamilton 4 times. So a fascinating battle between those two. But for Sebastian Vettel, he qualified in 3rd place on the grid. That was all done and dusted. But then the stewards looked into an incident between him and the Renault driver Carlos Sainz. Sainz was trying to do a fast lap. Sebastian Vettel was just doddering around in the way, basically. And he affected Carlos Sainz, and the stewards deemed that was worthy of a penalty. So as a result, he's been dropped back 3 places. So instead of starting 3rd on the grid, he'll start 6th. And that really helps Lewis Hamilton, obviously, in his challenge to try and extend his championship lead tomorrow afternoon.
Jack, thanks very much. Coverage from 2 o'clock tomorrow on 5 Live Sports Extra. Hampshire have won the Royal London One Day Cup. They beat Kent at Lord's. Kevin Howells has the details.
Well, the fairy tale story would have been Kent ending a 40 years wait to lift a trophy here at Lord's with the popular 42-year-old Darren Stevens in their ranks, but Hampshire proved too strong on the day. On a flat pitch, glorious June weather, runs were always going to play a large part, and Tom Alsop and Riley Russo made sure Hampshire got off to a very good start. 136 runs for the opening wicket inside 23 overs, with the South African Russo going on to score 125 in a highest total in a domestic final at Lord's, 330 for 7. Sam Northeast against his old club making 75 not out. In the chase, Kent's leading run scorer, Heine Kuhn, ran himself out on 32, and with disciplined bowling and very good fielding, including 3 further run-outs, Kent found it all too much. All out for 269, Hampshire the winners by 61 runs.
News from the British Athletics Championships now, and Dina Asher-Smith set a British Championship record in winning the 100 metres in Birmingham. Great Britain's Olympic and former world 400-metre champion Christina Hurrigu has retired at the age of 34. In tennis, world number 2 Caroline Wozniacki beat Arina Sabalenka to claim her 2nd Eastbourne title. Sweden's Marcus Kinhult has a 2-shot lead going into the final round of the French Open. He's on 10 under par. Chris Wood, Sergio Garcia, John Rahm and world number 2 Justin Thomas are all in the chasing pack. Meanwhile, here in Russia, it's Uruguay 1, Portugal 0 at half-time. That match taking place in Sochi. Guillaume Balaguer has been watching. Guillaume, what do you expect Portugal to do in the second half? Is it just about getting Cristiano to do more?
It's such a delicate situation right now because, of course, Uruguay will continue defending with their lives around the edge of the box. It's so difficult to beat that, but they will still have got Cavani and Luis Suarez up front with the possibility of scoring. So they need to just continue attacking. You need to actually get Ronaldo into the box, put the ball there. But talking about something else, do you know that Uruguay has got a tenth of the population of Peru and Venezuela? A tenth.
Is it really? It's about 3.3 million, Uruguay's population, isn't it? It's the smallest country ever to win a World Cup, which they did twice, in 1930 and 1950. And only 6 countries have ever qualified for the World Cup who are smaller than Uruguay.
That's just unbelievable.
You give me a stat, and I will rise to the challenge. Right, can Portugal rise to the challenge? They're trailing Uruguay by 1-0 at half-time in Sochi. To take you through the second half, Dion Dublin and Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Kelly. We're awaiting the teams to come back out onto the pitch. A few more stats for you while we do so. Cristiano Ronaldo, Dion, is yet to touch the ball inside the Uruguay penalty area.
Doesn't surprise me. All the crosses that come in are headed out, or they're blocked, or they're not even making their way into the box. That's how few chances Portugal have had.
He does rise to the big occasion with club and country, Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's just given a team talk inside the tunnel. We can see it on our monitors here in Sochi, and now we look down below and he emerges first. Cristiano Ronaldo, the first player back out onto the pitch for the second half. He's never scored a goal or provided an assist in a knockout game at the World Cup. That stat actually surprised me.
Wow, a player of that quality as well, you know. Listen, there's still time. He's got 45 minutes left in this World Cup as it stands. He will do something. He will do something special. He will make the goalkeeper make a save in some way, shape or form. He's not bowing out of this one with a whimper. He'll make sure he has one moment or two.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo knows this is a time to stand up and be counted. This is a time to deliver for Portugal, which he has done so many times in the past. Cristiano Ronaldo, whose picture was on the front cover of the Portuguese paper A Bola this morning, and the translation of the headline was "Time to be a giant." He's capable of being a giant. Can he perform a miracle here to help? Well, not quite miracle, but can he perform the sort of miracle he routinely does week in and week out with Real Madrid? Can he beat this Uruguayan defence who have proved so stubborn so far? Uruguay have still not conceded a goal in this World Cup.
Yes, the last team to do that was Brazil, I think, way back. So yes, they could be making history on all fronts tonight, Uruguay. But like I've said, Ronaldo now has to use his head. He has to use his teammates. He might have to do a few give and goes rather than trying to do everything on his own.
Right, here we go then. Underway for the second half. Portugal in all white, Uruguay in their traditional sky blue. And it'll be Uruguay playing from right to left as we look down. Cavani's goal, which came very early, just 7 minutes on the big stadium clock when he headed into the top corner. That still separates the teams. But Uruguay have gone about this very professionally. But nothing to panic about. Everything's been under control for the South Americans so far. As Godin just continues that style by rolling it calmly back to Muslera, the goalkeeper behind. He'd not been called into action all that often. He'd one daisy cutter to save from Ronaldo. He had one cross he took very well, Muslera. Well, that's been about it. As Font down the other end shows a bit of panic, puts the ball out for a Uruguay throw. Now they will be on the attack.
Yeah, that's the ball went back from kickoff to Muslera, the keeper. And he just took a little bit too long. Ronaldo wasn't too far away from blocking that, so he's got to be careful. Don't take too long, don't take any risks, especially with Ronaldo right now going straight down the middle.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's up front in his own at the moment for Portugal. Bernardo Silva at the moment is sitting in behind him in a sort of number 10 position, and João Mario's moved to the right-hand side. Now they do interchange a bit, but I'd be very interested to see Bernardo Silva in that more creative central role if he can.
Yes, if he can get the ball, he'll pick a pass. You know, he can twist and turn out of trouble. He'll find Ronaldo making runs.
Vecino makes an interception. Is having a nice tidy game in the middle of the midfield for Uruguay. Laxalt plays it forward. It's not controlled by Rodrigo Bentancur, the Juventus midfielder, but Portugal get it up to Ronaldo, who tries the cushion header down for Bernardo Silva, but it's intercepted before it gets there. Portugal get it back, 15 yards inside their own half. Rafael Guerreiro. There's a press from Nandes. Rafael Guerreiro goes around him through Adrian Silva onto Bernardo Silva. Midway now inside the Uruguay half. João Mario spent the second half of last season on loan at West Ham. He sends it in, the number 10. Good header away by Godin. Good distance on it as well out of the penalty area. Cavani, who's such a strong, muscular character, tries to hold it up on the edge of the box, and then he goes down under a challenge. Portugal briefly had possession, spills away from them, and Cáceres is able to clear away, right-footed into the crowd on the far side. Uruguay 1, Portugal 0, 2 minutes played in the second half.
Yeah, João Mario, they're having a really good chance to put in some quality, but you know, they keep hitting the first man, Portugal. You know, Ronaldo doesn't like to get across the first man normally. He likes to leave it late, get his leap into action, and just leave it hanging in there for Ronaldo.
Portugal have possession on the halfway line. Bernardo Silva under pressure from Bentancur. He retreats into his own half, and then Font has to go all the way back to the goalkeeper Rui Patricio. And then not a good clearance there, and they don't look comfortable in defence at the start of this second half. Portugal, they've given away a very, well, what happened? It sliced out.
Yes, off Suarez, I think it was.
So, oh, it came off Suarez,
yes,
right, sorry.
Yes,
okay, I was wondering, I thought it was a Uruguay throw. Yeah, it's gone out for a goal kick, but off Suarez, right, gotcha.
They've gone for sort of a basketball kind of full press there off the goal kick. Uruguay, Suarez, Cavani, all forward, making sure they can't play out, making them go long, because Uruguay are happy to have an aerial battle against anybody. Ball goes in the air, they're normally a winner.
Uruguay still lead 1-0. Muslera, their goalkeeper, back four. Cáceres, Jimenez, Godin and Laxal. In midfield, Nandes is on the right, then Torreira, Vecino, Bentancur. And the top two, Suarez and Cavani. Cavani, who tonight has got his 44th international goal. That separates the teams. Throw in on the right-hand side for Uruguay. Cáceres takes it, headed away by Pepe, one of the two central defenders, along with Font for Portugal tonight. They've got Guerreiro at left back, Ricardo's the right back, Rui Patricio the goalkeeper. The middle of the midfield is William and Adrian Silva. João Mario's now playing on the right, Bernardo Silva in the middle, and Ronaldo with Guedes are the two up front. Here is Bernardo, so that's glorious the way he did that, just dragged the ball under his stud, spun away, then turned back at himself again. But everywhere he turns, it's a cul-de-sac. Suarez lunges in, kicks him on the shin. Enough of that, free kick to Portugal.
Yes, just maybe one turn too many there from Bernardo Silva. Just do what you need to do, get out of trouble. Always use your skill when you need to use your skill, and then give it to somebody else who can play and get your team up the pitch.
Here is Guedes, left-hand side of the attack. Loses it on the edge of the penalty area, lashes out in frustration, and commits a foul on Nandes down there, and that's going to be a free kick to Uruguay, and again a chance to clear their lines. Guedes, who's shown a few little sparks, a few glimmers that he might have something about him in this game, but one touch too many there.
Yeah, just taking a little bit too long all over the pitch at the moment, Portugal, just taking that extra touch, giving Uruguay a chance to get a bit closer. Physically, Uruguay will like it, they don't mind a physical battle. If Portugal play quicker, get it into wide areas, João Mario gets decent crosses in, Font and Pepe will be much safer.
Have you spotted the moon, Dion Dublin, away to our right-hand side? Look at that.
Oh, wow, look at that.
That is a photograph. The moon, which has got a kind of a burnt, rusty orange colour, dangling in the sky away to our right-hand side. It really is,
just through the gap in the roof.
Yeah, we can just see the moon shining down on us as Portugal come on the attack down the right-hand side, and Ricardo tries to send in his cross. It's repelled away to João Mario midway inside the Uruguay half on the right-hand side. We are here on the coast of the Black Sea. It's the region of Krasnodarski Krai, and very much the holiday resort where Russians like to come for their vacations. Here in Sochi, summer weather, sweaty and hot in the stadium, and Uruguay still leading by 1-0. Bernardo Silva has it, edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Bentancur is doing some good work to try and contain him, and that's going to trickle out, and Bernardo Silva allows it trickle out because he knows it's going for a corner. Off Laxal, corner to Portugal, and they send them all up now. Only the goalkeeper staying back, everyone else making their way towards the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, Cavani and Suarez as well making their way back.
No time to waste. Here it comes. Bernardo Silva drills it in low and hard. Easily cleared by Suarez at the front post. Adrian Silva picks it up. To his left is Guerreiro. His cross comes back to him again, and he hits it on the volley, and it was dipping, but not dipping quickly enough, and it spins wide of the target. Uruguay still lead 1-0.
Yeah, safe. Nothing troubling the keeper there. But again, corner. Bernardo Silva hitting the first man. Just miss that man out, give your team a chance, but it's happened 3 or 4 times now. They are chances. They might not look much, But if you beat that first man, you do put the defending team under some pressure.
That attempt there from Guerrero, sort of mirror image of the goal that the French right-back Pavard scored earlier on today. What a goal that was, by the way. I'm pretty sure he never scored for his country before. What a way to break your duck. Brilliant volley to the far top corner. And France beating Argentina 4-3 earlier on. They are into the quarter-final. The winner of this one will play them. So at the moment, it'll be France, Uruguay in Nizhny Novgorod on Friday. And that'll be at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, kick-off in the UK. Ronaldo's on the run here. Godin gets up and makes the interception. That was important. Ronaldo had slipped in between the two central defenders, but Godin was able to get spring in his heels to head it away.
Yeah, just a nudge in the back. It was a great run from Ronaldo. He went in front of the defender and then he went in behind as well. It was a nice straight ball that he nearly got in, but it just wasn't hit long enough. That's what Ronaldo will do. He'll always make himself available. If you can pick out the pass, then he'll be there, ready to finish it. 7 minutes played in the second half. Cavani's goal separates them. This is the second knockout game of the World Cup. Tomorrow, Spain play Russia in the afternoon, Croatia against Denmark in the evening. All the games live here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Cáceres plays the ball infield, Godin will sprint back into his own half. Ronaldo comes to apply the pressure. Godin rolls it to Muslera. And a right-footed clear. It's not the cleanest connection, mind you, but it does the job and it gets it away, albeit returning possession to Portugal, for whom Adrian Silva stretches and nudges it in front of Rafael Guerreiro, who's got a bit of room here on the left wing. Cáceres has retreated. Nandes, who's normally out there, had gone missing for a moment, but the cross is not good enough from Guerreiro, and Uruguay comfortably clear it away. Again, just organised, you know, that bank of four there that they have sitting there, Uruguay, that there's not many gaps between the two centre-halves and the full-backs. They're very, very close, tight-knit four. They know where each other is, and every time a ball comes in, they make sure they are in the width of that 6-yard box, so there's no danger at all.
53 minutes on the clock. Font onto Guerreiro, left-hand side, midway into Uruguayan territory now. He's got Guedes up ahead of him. Short to Guerreiro, 10 yards outside the penalty area now. Willian, a little bit further back, rolls it along the ground to João Mario, 7 or 8 yards now outside the penalty area. But Uruguay have got a sky blue wall erected, and it's very difficult for Portugal to get through. Bernardo Silva tries, there's a back heel by João Mario. Cristiano Ronaldo sets it up, it nearly came back to Cristiano Ronaldo, and in the end it skids away out for a corner. He's waiting for the chance to fall to him in the box, and it just didn't quite do so there, Ronaldo.
No, Bernardo Silva just putting a ball in there. João Mario nudging it on. It goes to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's got his back to goal. He wants to do something.
Corners taken short. Guerreiro swings it in, and Pepe! 1-1 in Sochi. Portugal, the European champions, are right back in it. Brilliant header from Pepe on his 99th cap. He took ball, man, everything into the back of the net. No messing about from Pepe. Uruguay won, Portugal won.
As soon as that ball came in, I thought to myself, wow, Pepe has got himself into an area where if he gets a run-up, he'll win this. Font as well, they both went for it. Pepe gets there first. Aggression, direction, short corner, and then the ball was put into an area over the first man, straight into the back of the net. He heads it about 8 yards out, thunders off his forehead. Look at that, bam, watching the replay. Number 3, Pepe, number 1 keeper, no chance.
You are not saving that. Pepe gets high, powers it downwards. Goalkeeper was on his way back off his right boot. He's then going to try and change direction. No chance you're keeping that out. It's a wonderful goal. Pepe has made it 1-1. Game on.
Yes, the keeper's actually shuffled across the pitch, sort of shuffling side to side on his left foot. Then the ball goes back to where he's just shuffled from. Really difficult to get the spin, to get the ball out the danger area.
Vecino tries to charge out of defence. It'll be interesting to see how Uruguay respond here now. Having looked very comfortable at 1-0, they've been pegged back to 1-1.
Yeah, got in there, making a silly challenge. No need at all. Bernardo Silva is much bigger than him, gives a free kick to Portugal. Tails up, now you can see they want to play quickly now. It's one of them things that professional football, we call it hand on and play. They're getting the ball, stopping it and playing as quick as they can.
The goal from Pepe, a player who was born in very humble surroundings in Brazil. His first pair of boots took his father 15 months to pay off in debt installments. This guy came from almost nothing. And here he is playing for Portugal, having had a wonderful career with Real Madrid. Just when people think he might be winding down the old career, he shows there's life in the old Pepe dog after all. and he's got the goal that has Portugal back on level terms. Here there's a deliberate foul and Laxalt on the halfway line. Free kick to Uruguay. And I have a feeling we're going to see a few tackles crunch in the next 20 minutes or something on Dublin.
Oh yes, Laxalt there just marauding out of his own half, going by 3 players. But in the end, the 3 players got the better of him. It was great defending though. Just before that, got in there, just bringing the ball down onto his thigh, nudging it into the area there, and Laxalt just marauding. I thought to myself, if he passed now, you'd be fine. You'd be able to get the second ball. Got brought down.
2 teams who like to get stuck in. It's become a staring match now at 1-1. Neither will want to blink first. And Portugal with just renewed vigour. I mean, they never let their heads drop. You got to give them that. They kept coming and coming and coming. They weren't creating many chances. Finally, a cross of quality from Rafael Guerreiro, and Pepe with a powerful header to the back of the net. Free kick now to Uruguay on the halfway line. Godin takes it. Supporters here indulging in an Icelandic clap, gathering pace as the ball almost spills for Suarez over there on the far side. But try as he might, he won't prevent Portugal clearing it away, but he forces a scuffed clearance by Guerreiro, and that means Uruguay remain on the attack. And we've seen already that Cáceres has an enormous throw in him. He's leaning up against an advertising hoarding, and he's ready to propel this.
They're all going beyond the penalty spot.
Here it comes, arching back, pumped in, out comes the goalkeeper. Excellent from Rui Patricio. Gathers it high above his head and he pumps it long. Over the head of Ronaldo, who'll scamper after it. Godin takes no chances, puts it out for the throw. Ronaldo wants another ball, and he takes it quickly. Great throw from Ronaldo to Bernardo Silva. There's no messing about there. Back to Cristiano Ronaldo, crossing position on the right-hand side. João Mario comes close, and Portugal playing it around, allowing Uruguay fall back into their comfortable defensive position. They had committed bodies forward for that Cáceres throw, but play on. 1-1 here. Approaching the hour mark, that almost artificial-looking burnt orange moon away to our right-hand side. So much is artificial around this Olympic Park in Sochi. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a fake moon. Here's João Mario, crosses from the right-hand side, put too much on it, floats over everyone, but Adrian Silva will sprint out to keep it in play on the far side. So Portugal remain on the attack. He gives it to Bernardo Silva with the bright orange boots, gives a little backheel to Adrian Silva, who I think wasn't ready for it, and in nips Nandes to win the ball for Uruguay. He sets off on a powerful run, but William, as he's covered all the way, great player William, so strong, wins it back for Portugal.
Yeah, just put himself right in front of Nandes' run there. No way was he going to go by. The ball might go by, but Nandes was never going to get by the unit, which is William.
Now, Cristiano Ronaldo, right-hand side of the midfield, lays it off to João Mario. 2 defenders around him, skips it infield to William once again. Now there's a bit of room for Bernardo Silva. Trying to get close to him is Torreira. He releases it to Guedes, shoots, takes a deflection out for a corner. Another corner to Portugal. Who you're going to say they look in the mood right now?
Yeah, they do. And all of them, there's Pepe, look, making his way forward to the same position again. Fonts just trying to sneak round the back post. All the Uruguayan defenders waiting for their man to come into the box. This is going to be, it might even be a short again, but it's going to be an in-swing up.
Uruguay are preparing to make a change. There's all sorts of activity down in amongst the penalty area. Once again, it's a short taken corner for Portugal. Adrian Silva on the corner angle of the penalty area. Torreira trying to get close to him. Adrian Silva gets past him. Torreira doesn't give up. Follows his man all the way. Puts it out for another corner to Portugal.
That's really frustrating. You've got your 2 centre-halves in the box. And if you don't cross it, they've got to go 50 yards back in position. So if you are going to go up as a centre-half, please put it in the box. Give us a chance of scoring a goal. I've done it for you once. Why would you change?
Hour on the clock, 1-1 the scoreline. Corner to Portugal, who've come from behind here, swung in high, too high for Ronaldo. Font gets a touch on it. Bernardo Silva back into the mix, and that's easy pickings for the goalkeeper. And Ronaldo, who was in that general area but knew there was no point even challenging for it, that the goalkeeper was going to come and take. Just a reminder, and I'm sure it's obvious at this stage, but there's been so much football and we've all lost track of everything. I've no idea what day of the week it is. Uruguay 1, Portugal 1 here. If it stays level to 90 minutes, we would have the extra time, maybe even penalties. We've reached the knockout stage of the World Cup.
Yeah, they've had most of the place for this last 5 minutes. Portugal starting to play it about a bit. Bernardo Silva trying to put his stamp on the game.
Now, here come Uruguay. Bentancur to Cavani! What a finish that is! Right-footed, just inside the edge of the penalty area. far corner. He side-footed it. So accurate, but so powerful. 2 goals on the night for Cavani. They lead Portugal again, 2-1.
That man Cavani, you know why he's got 2 goals today? I'll tell you why. He's worked so hard for his team, and the harder you work, the luckier you get. But there was nothing lucky about that finish. He was sprinting down the left wing. If you can imagine the 18-yard box, the line of the 18-yard box from the touchline, he's sprinting towards that. He knows if he gets into position, he'll be able to get a shot off it. It's a great layoff. Oh, wow. He's just curled it in the corner past the keeper. What a finish. 2 unbelievable goals from Cavani.
A cultured finish from the right foot of Edison Cavani. It was Rodrigo Bentancur who set him up.
Oh, wow.
That is a one. Look at that. We're seeing a slow motion replay here. The poise, the hair flashing, the hands raised already before the ball had even hit the back of the net. And just like the other 2 goals tonight, you ain't stopping that. Doesn't matter who's in goal.
Absolutely no check. We just had a view of that on our screens right here from behind the goal. And Cavani has put so much curl and bend on it. He sent it outside the post just so the keeper would have no chance, and he didn't.
So Bentancur is the man who set up the goal, and he's just been taken off. Christian Rodriguez has come on as a substitute for Uruguay, who lead again. 3 goals now in this World Cup for Edison Cavani. 2 of them have come tonight. Portugal have come from behind once. They still have plenty of time here. There's over half an hour to play once the stoppages are added on. But can they do it again? Ronaldo into the penalty area, looking for João Mario, bounces in front of him and up into the arms of Rui Patricio.
Yes, Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, you've got to do it again, mate. You have to rally the troops. While we were watching the goal, I seen Cristiano Ronaldo in the background clapping, saying, come on, we've done it once. Yes, we can do it again. Believe. Get the ball to me. I'll make something happen.
Pepe goal to make it 1-1 was the first goal Uruguay had conceded at this World Cup. Can Portugal do it again? 2-1 Uruguay at the moment. As things stand, it'll be France against Uruguay in the quarter-final. Ricardo gets possession. I think for the game, Dion, had it gone to 2-0, I'd be saying, right, they're not coming back here, Portugal. The fact they've got 1, there's got to be always a chance they'll get another.
Yeah, it just says that they've got character. You know, that they are sticking together. They want this game. They're not going to allow anybody to come and just take it out of their hands. They know that they've been down 1, they got back. 2-1 down. Can they do it again?
William Carvalho to the near side to Ricardo. That's a nice ball. Bernardo Silva's in the penalty area outside of the left boot, and it nearly teed up Cristiano Ronaldo. And sliding in was Torreira to put it out for a throw.
Ronaldo was just about to smack that one in the back of the net. 2 more bounces on that ball, Ronaldo would have scored.
Now, change for Portugal, and the man coming on was a surprising omission from the starting 11. Ricardo Quaresma, the veteran forward, will come on, and he's taken the place of Adrian Silva. So Quaresma, very flamboyant player, gets on the ball immediately, sends in an early cross which Godin clears with the outside of his right boot. Well, that's something different now for Portugal, just something else for Uruguay to have to contend with. The trickery of Quaresma as Ronaldo runs into the penalty area, hoping Jimenez would miss it. No chance from Jimenez. João Mario heads the ball down, and Cáceres, no messing about, pumps the ball clear, and it goes out for a Portugal throw on the far side.
This is an interesting game now, Connor. This, you know, Uruguay don't want to give anything else away. Portugal have got to go for it now. They've got minutes left. What, we're on 65 minutes at the moment, 25 minutes to go. They've got to do something. They'll have to go for it.
In this World Cup of so many late goals, can't believe we've seen the end of them here tonight in Sochi. Cavani, scorer of 2 tonight, has launched an amazing ball.
No way.
That's one of the longest passes I've ever seen completed in football. Wow. I'm not on the angle, that was close to 80 yards, and he's put it exactly into the path of Luis Suarez. That's sensational. Suarez, uncharacteristic, gives the ball away, but typical him, works hard to win it back again, characteristically Suarez. And then he gives it away a second time, and Ricardo surely fouled by Cavani, but the referee waves play on because Portugal have got possession with Bernardo Silva. Quaresma onto William, And then he powers it over into space to Cristiano Ronaldo, who chests it down for himself and attacks the penalty area. And two defenders just fell on the ground in front of him to say there's no way you're coming in. He rolls it to João Mario, now to Quaresma. Has he got a trick here? Drills it off the defender. That went out, I thought, for a corner. Flag is raised by the assistant. It did go out despite the efforts of the goalkeeper to bring it back in again. It's a corner to Portugal. Rui Patricio Muslera won't give up possession. He was holding on to it there. But now Quaresma has a ball placed and ready to swing it in. 66 minutes on the clock, midway through the second half. 2-1 Uruguay. Here comes Quaresma's corner. Oh, Ronaldo was so close to the header. And Torreira slides on the edge of the D. Might have been a foul on João Mario. Play on. Font in the penalty area. Scoops it back in. There's no teammate there. Quaresma can't get onto it either. And it's cleared away by Vecino. But that was dangerous.
Yeah, just scrambled away. They didn't really care where it went, Uruguay. They had 10 players in the box defending. Whenever Ronaldo gets it, they'll make sure he can't come on his right foot and shoot. That's why there's players diving at his feet every 5 seconds.
Guerreiro, who provided the assist for the first Portuguese goal, is unable to deliver a good cross here. His crossing overall has been substandard. One brilliant, delicious delivery for Pepe's goal, but that was poor.
Yes, there's much more quality in this Portugal side when it comes to crossing. We haven't seen it. One decent cross and they've got themselves a goal. Now they'll have to concentrate now, really concentrate. They don't need to go 2 goals behind Portugal. They're doing all right, but they've got to create more chances.
For me, there might have been a penalty appeal there. Torreira seemed to grab hold of the foot of, I think it was João Mario in that scramble in the penalty area at one stage, but not spotted by the officials. Uruguay still lead 2-1. Suarez battling away. Can't get it to stick on this occasion. João Mario plays it in front of Rafael Guerreiro, and the Borussia Dortmund man comes over the halfway line. Left-hand side of the field as Portugal come forward. Gives it to Ronaldo. An injection of pace. Back to Guerreiro once again. Ronaldo makes his way into the penalty area. He's pulling up his sleeves here for his nation, as he knows he must now. Cristiano Ronaldo. William has it. 10 men behind the ball for Uruguay. Quaresma's released down the right-hand side. Laxal comes over to keep tabs on him. There's a dummy for the cross the first time. Then a flick in field. Cut out by Vecino. And then, actually, that was the man who came on there. Christian Rodriguez who cut it out. And he puts the ball out. Last touch off a Portuguese player. And that is possession back to Uruguay once again.
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration now from Ronaldo. He's getting the ball in wide areas, wide left and wide right. He's playing it in field. And then he's getting himself into the box as quick as possible. I think at the moment, Ronaldo's got to be a little bit more elusive. He's going into the box and he's being marked. You've got to be a little bit more elusive. Get yourself on the left, on the right. Get away from the defenders. Start attacking them with the ball.
Here come Portugal again. João Mario inside the centre circle. 2-1 in Sochi on 5 Live from the BBC. Quaresma. Fresh legs on as a sub. Surrounded by 2 defenders, though. They're doubling up on him. Oh, he wriggles through the middle of both. Then he thought about the cross with the outside of his right boot. Gets it back on his left. Then he does flick him on the outside of the right boot. Can't feed João Mario. Here comes Guerreiro. Up from left back. Back into the middle. Goalkeeper spilled it. Jumps in it again. Bernardo Silva over the top. I think the whistle had blown anyway for a foul of the goalkeeper. But nearly. Portugal are doing well at the moment.
Yes, I didn't see that flag go up, actually. Oh, the keeper, he's got to do better there. He just fumbled it, it bounced, he dropped it on the penalty spot area. Yes, I'm just watching the replay here. And yes, it's Bernardo Silva. Oh, wow. He wouldn't have known. He actually kicked it out of the keeper's hands just watching the replay. But he wouldn't have known the flag would have gone up. And the ball goes over the bar. Anguish on his face. And then relief when he found out he was offside.
Bernardo Silva, just for a moment, he thought, this is my chance. It went over the top, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. 2 goals from Cavani, 1 from Pepe. Uruguay 2, Portugal 1.
They're not wilting, though. They are not wilting. Portugal are staying toe-to-toe, making sure. See Cavani there. Cavani's is limping. And Ronaldo has said to the referee, come on, get him off. But now Ronaldo's put his hand around Cavani and he's lifted him off the pitch just a little bit quicker than he wanted to go.
He's given him the old fireman's chair. Is that what they call it? Is it right? Yeah. Thanks very much. Get off.
Get off, exactly. Yes.
And I think he's dead right there.
That was a substitute sign there from Cavani.
So
rolling the hands in front of his tummy there saying change, and there you go. Medical staff doing the same.
He won't get the hat-trick tonight, Edison Cavani, but he has scored the 2 goals that, as things stand, are going to send Uruguay into the quarterfinals to play France, who beat Argentina in a very entertaining game earlier on today by 4-3. It's been a good one here tonight as well. Not quite as thrills and spills as that French game earlier, but 20 minutes to go, and I just feel there's going to be a twist in the tail here in some direction. Here is Guedes down the left-hand side for Portugal. Ronaldo's poor pass, not often we say that, gives the ball away to Nandez. Suarez now has it near the halfway line. Just goes around like a revolving door away from Font. And the ball is returned to him by Rodriguez. Torreira now near the halfway line. I actually feel that Uruguay could do with a spell of possession here, but just as I said that, Cáceres wastefully returns it to Portugal. They've had to do so much defending in this game.
They have, and it'll be a massive loss. Cavani going off.
Here goes Ronaldo down the left channel. Jimenez comes with him. Ronaldo around, sends in a decent cross. There's no one there. Nobody had kept up with him. And despite the efforts of the fullback Ricardo to get up there, nothing doing, and the ball is easily cleared away.
He's crossed the ball where he should have been.
Yeah. Still, you've got to look to see if there's someone there, can't you? I just blindly lash it. Hang on, here he is, shooting position. Cristiano Ronaldo, round one defender. Good work by Torreira to block the second shot. João Mario picks up the loose pieces. Portugal have it in the attacking third.
Story of the game from Ronaldo. Every time he looks to shoot, Paul, Uruguay there. Every single time blocking shots.
They throw themselves into tackles the way rugby players do it. I mean, I don't mean that they jump on the opponent. They jump to block the ball. As João Mario throws the ball out to the left-hand side. There's a chase here for Guedes. Oh, he's done well to get there and keep it in play. Now Guerrera, can this be the good cross? No, it's a decoy back to the edge of the penalty area. Willian sends it in. Quaresma the back stick. It's all very concentrated and integrated from Portugal, but it's lacking flair at the moment. As Laxal puts it out for the throw.
What a waste! What a waste! Patient play. Getting into areas to cross the ball, refusing to cross. Ronaldo's putting his fingers through his hair as if to say, come on, we're working so hard at the moment, we're 2-1 down.
Another striker coming on for Portugal. Gonçalo Guedes, who has worked very hard tonight, goes off. Andre Silva, a striker of whom much is expected. AC Milan player comes on. Sort of a reserve player with AC Milan, played in the Europa League, cup competitions, that sort of stuff, but they hope he could be the next big thing. Well, this is the big stage. He's got the number 9 on his back. He's got Ronaldo wide left, Quaresma wide right, and Andre Silva is the man through the middle now. Can Portugal get the goal? That would bring them back on level terms and may force this game into extra time. Here on the ball is little Bernardo Silva. Definitely playing a central role since the change was made for Quaresma to come on. Stuani, by the way, Christian Stuani, once of Middlesbrough, has come on to replace Cavani. Ball won by Torreira for Uruguay. They get it up towards Stuani here. Number 11 on his back. He played as a winger for Middlesbrough. He's become very much a centre forward for Girona and had a wonderful season. He scored 21 goals in La Liga for Girona this season, Christian Stuani. He's on for Uruguay, partnering Suarez up front. Here come Portugal with Quaresma into the penalty area on the right-hand side. And story of the game for him. He beats one player but can't get around the second. Now Ricardo slips as he tries to send in the cross. And it skews out and it goes for a goal kick.
Yeah, looks dangerous. Quaresma down this right-hand side. Tricks. Goes left, goes right. They just don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to cross it? Is he going to pick somebody out on the edge of the box? Very unpredictable, but exciting to watch. He's not affected the game as yet, but he looks like a player that could.
Quarter of an hour to go. Huge 15 minutes plus stoppages now for the European champions. Portugal, the winners in France 2 years ago. Are they on their way out of the World Cup? And on the day we've lost Messi from this tournament, does Ronaldo also crash out? Rodriguez battling for the ball down below us, left wing for Uruguay, tackled by João Mario. Ball goes out of play for throw it to Uruguay, who just want to kill the pace out of the game now.
Yeah, they need to. They need to, with Cavani off, who was doing all the work for the forward. Stuani's now is going to have to do that because Suarez He's not going to be doing that. He wants to stay straight up between the two centre-halves.
Laxalt takes the throw. It's not a down for Rodriguez. Into Suarez. That's a lovely ball trying to pick out Stuani. Oh, he nearly got it on it again there. Suarez, Uruguay come a third time. Luis Suarez, edge of the penalty area. Tries to chip it in. Header by Jose Font. And the ball is going to be run back by Cáceres on the far side. Uruguay are showing that when it comes to 50-50 battles, little arm wrestles, they do not flinch.
They do not flinch at all. I actually thought he got a bit of the man there, but good tackle. I thought 50-50, here we go. Only one winner, Uruguay again.
Here come Portugal from deep. Bernardo Silva from inside his own penalty area, running with long strides now, up and into the centre circle. Now he's up into the halfway line and he gives it out to Quaresma on the right-hand side with that little sort of rat's tail effect with the line of the shirt down the back of his neck. And he is challenged and the ball goes out for a throw. And I think it's actually gone for a corner. It went out by the corner flag. That is a corner to Portugal with 14 minutes remaining. Quaresma places the ball. Goalkeeper Muslera standing out of the edge of his 6-yard box. An unusual position for a corner. It's flashed just too high for Ronaldo. Sits up for Guerrero and he puts it over the top.
Yeah, just over. Quaresma, a great corner, missing out the first one. Outswinger Ronaldo just couldn't get enough height. He was level with the near post. It just beat him. And then there was a shot on the edge of the box, and unfortunately, he goes over the bar.
Another little waft of that nice cool breeze we occasionally get comes flooding across the press box, and everyone goes, oh, give me a bit of that. Yes, there's very little oxygen here.
It's been rare tonight. Those breezes.
On a night that Portugal have been suffocated on the pitch. They've had the one goal, a header from Pepe, but their front men have not been afforded anything you would describe, anything like a clear-cut opportunity. Ronaldo, who didn't have a touch of the ball in the Uruguay penalty area in all of the first half. Here comes Bernardo Silva of Manchester City, number 11 on his back, through the left channel for Portugal. Gives it out to Guerrero. Rafael Guerrero's cross into the box. Jose Jimenez, the man who came back into the team tonight, clears it away.
Yeah, two very, very good defenders there. Like Jimenez is really strong and Godin's organising everything. They haven't gone anywhere.
Guerrero's latest cross, just too high for Andre Silva, the striker who's come on. Header delivery that time from Guerrero, though. João Mario picks it up deep. Into the midfield again. Willian. On to Cristiano Ronaldo. 10-12 yards outside the penalty area. Cuts back in himself. Has a little glance. What's happening right? What's happening left? Tries to drill in a shot from a mile out. Comes off Jimenez there, and it won't be kept in play by Guerrero. But Ronaldo's thinking, well, I've got to go for it now. And he's trying anything.
Yeah. I think it was a mile and a half, actually, the shot was from. It was a ridiculous distance, but he's getting frustrated now. He's not really had a sight of goal all night. He's now saying to himself, listen, I'm going to have to do something. Time is running out. My World Cup could be over, but there's still time for a little bit of magic from him. He's got it, and we're going to see it.
Uruguay 2, Portugal 1, 12 minutes remaining. Portugal come with João Mario. Bernardo Silva to Willian, centre circle. Room on the near touchline, the Portuguese right for Quaresma. Laxalt is the defender, stands off in this time. Quaresma's cross, too high for Ronaldo, headed away by Jimenez. João Mario battles for it on the edge of the penalty area. Cáceres puts the big boot through it, wallops it down deep into the Portuguese end of the field, and Uruguay's defenders don't push out all that far because they know this is coming right back at them.
Exactly right, that will suit Portugal. The Uruguayans not being able to squeeze too much. The ball went into Portugal's half and they stayed in theirs, way in theirs, right on the edge of the 18.
João Mario, left-hand side of the midfield. He's got Guerrero outside him. That's a good ball. Bernardo Silva now in the box. Gets to the byline, swings it in, comes off Jimenez for a corner. Better for Portugal.
Good defending. Two defenders in correct areas. Jimenez going to the near post. Godin staying right in the middle of the 6-yard box as well, where the danger is. They are really good partnership, but you know, they're now finding spaces, Portugal.
Yeah. Jimenez and Godin have been rock solid so far. Anything that's come into the box from in terms of on the ground. The one time they were beaten was the cross for the header by Pepe. As Uruguay make another change, and Nandes slowly walks his way across, being urged by the referee to pick up the pace a bit now. Doesn't want any further time wasting. Carlos Sanchez will come on, so they're taking off the man who's playing on the right in midfield, and they're bringing on another defender.
Nandes has done well tonight. He's really worked hard, done a job for his team. But I really feel that there's another couple of chances for Portugal if they can put decent crosses into the box.
Get this adage in football: don't make a substitute while you're defending a corner. That's just what Uruguay have done. Let's see if there's anything in the old wives' tale. Here comes the corner again. It's rolled short as Portugal have done all night. Quaresma dances, jigs, lays it off short to João Mario. Back out to Quaresma on the left wing. Carlos Sanchez, who's just come on for Uruguay, has done well to run in and try and win back possession. With the help of Cáceres, they managed to do so, but Uruguay can't hold on to it. William back to the halfway line. Ricardo onto Bernardo Silva. Portugal are ragged now. They've got players all over the place. Quaresma's on the left wing. Bernardo Silva's on the right. Ronaldo's on the right. Andre Silva waiting in the middle. What can Cristiano Ronaldo provide here? A little step over. Round one, round two. You can't beat them all. Cristiano Ronaldo. Jimenez takes it off him.
He was on a roll. Beat two players, got into the box. The closer he gets to the goal, the more blue shirts he's got around him. They're just really homing in on Ronaldo, making sure he has no sight of goal at all.
And he's clearly one of the greatest ever. And
without a doubt, without a doubt.
Ronaldo's, it's about power, pace, penetration. He's not like Messi. He doesn't jink around players, and that's what he's trying to do there.
Yeah, he was coming in off the right wing this time, trying to find his way into a shooting spot, but he's just had no space at all tonight. Every time he turns around, there's a blue shirt.
Glance up to the clock, and there's 8.5 minutes of normal time to go. There'll be a few minutes added on, but the Uruguayan fans behind the goal, their team, are attacking away to our left in the second half. They're celebrating, twirling the flags in the air, singing their songs, sending the message home to South America that they ain't coming home yet, that they're going to progress to Nizhny Novgorod. They're going to take on France in the quarter-finals. Ball cleared away by Ricardo. Uruguay get it back again. Carlos Sanchez, midway inside the Portugal half, takes no chances, rolls it back to Jimenez. To his left is to Godin. Godin fancies a bit of a jinking run himself here. Weaves his way midway into the Portuguese half. Lays it off to Carlos Sanchez, who's given it away to Bernardo Silva. Now, can they hit fast? Well, Godin's out of position here. Don't think they realise that. It's a slow build-up. It's out to Quaresma on the left wing. Ronaldo's waiting in the D. Andre Silva's up there as well. Ball is played by Guerrero. Chance for Quaresma to cross with the outside of the right boot, and it's just too high for Ronaldo again. One of these crosses is going to fall for Ronaldo. Here could be the chance. Ricardo flashes it in, and it's Vecino this time who clears it away. 8 blue shirts in the box, making sure there's no attempt on goals. Defending for their lives. How long have they got now? They've got just over 7 minutes they've got left, plus extra time. They need to go for it, Portugal. Quaresma out there giving the cross with the outside of the right boot, the trivela, sort of his trademark. This one's a proper cross, but headed away by Jimenez. Having a great game back in the team tonight. Control in the middle of the midfield by Christian Rodriguez. Up forward to Christian Stuani, back to Rodriguez again. Portugal working so hard, and they do win the ball back again. William to João Mario. There's been no shortage of effort from Portugal, but as things stand, they're coming up just too short. 6.5 minutes remaining. Bernardo Silva goes an amazing dribble into the penalty area. Ricardo's with him. Godin nudges into him. He goes down. Referee immediately says no penalty. That was solid as oak from Godin there. He just held his ground. Ricardo bounced off him. Referee says that is not a foul. Yeah, just holding his ground there. There's a definite contact, but he's just turned and he's been stronger. Godin, he's just said to Ricardo, listen, if you want to go by me as well as the ball, you're going to have to do better than that. Brilliant defending from the old-timer. Strong, reliable. So a change for Portugal. A final throw of the dice, perhaps. Manuel Fernandes, once of Everton, comes on in place of João Mario, the man who finished the season on loan at West Ham, was a big part of them staying up in the Premier League. It does have this feel of last throw of the dice about it now. Manuel Fernandes, who plays his club football in Russia these days. Lokomotiv Moscow, free kick awarded to Portugal on the halfway line. Have they got one more goal in them, Dion Dublin, to bring this game into extra time? They'll have to be quick. They will have to be quick. Time is running out. Every time I look at the clock, there's another minute gone by. They'll have to play in and out as quick as they possibly can. Get the ball into the middle, get it out to the wings, get it in the box. Here comes Manuel Fernandes. This is his first major tournament. He shoots from miles out. The man who's just come on. Bounces once up into the arms of the goalkeeper. Speculative, but they've got to buy a ticket now if they want to win this particular raffle. Portugal, as things stand, they're going out of the World Cup.
Yes, the keeper there just bounced in front of him and he held onto the ball like it was a soft puppy. Don't drop this ball. Look after this ball. Keep hold of it.
Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to keep hold of his stature in this World Cup. He won't want to go home the same day as Messi. Can Ronaldo provide the spark? Here comes Bernardo Silva for Portugal. Out to Guerreiro on the left-hand side. Back into the midfield to William. There's so many options around it, but he rarely goes for the penetrative pass. He always looks for a wide player. Quaresma this time. Hangs it across towards the back post. Really good delivery, and it stayed in play as well. But they couldn't get a player on the end of it once it was knocked down. And Uruguay are relieved that it's cleared away. Manuel Fernandes, the substitute, has just come on. Scoops it out to Bernardo Silva. Left wing for Portugal. They need to up the tempo now. They need to go through the gears. Fernandes gets on it again. Skips away. Tries a back heel. That was ambitious. Carlos Sanchez is able to nip in. But Carlos Sanchez gives the ball away. Font will come forward for Portugal. He's got William Carvalho to his right-hand side. Uruguayan defenders just shuffling left, right, back again as the shot comes blazing in from a mile out. And once again, Manuel Fernandes, who's clearly been brought on with the instructions, can you go on there and score me a worldie? Puts one over the top again.
Yeah, you got to score a worldie from 45 yards out on the angle. And as he took that shot, it went way, way over the bar. Ronaldo was stood on the penalty spot with his hands just by the side of him, showing the palms, as if to say, what are you doing? Just be patient, get the ball wide. He's still not had his chance yet, Ronaldo, and he will get one.
He's got to get one, isn't he?
He'll get one.
He's got to get one. That Uruguay defence have been strong as new rope today, and in front of them, Lucas Torreira, Sampdoria player who's been linked with a move for Arsenal. As Suarez comes forward now for Uruguay. He's got Christian Stuani with him. No great urgency. They want to hold on to the ball as much as anything. Now Rodriguez joins in. 1-2 at Suarez into the penalty area. Comes back off the defender, Ricardo. And Rodriguez is happy to see it go out for a throw-in, knowing it'll be a Uruguay throw.
It's got to be so sapping. This heat's got to be sapping. I'm looking at Suarez there, hands on his knees, bent over. He's saying to his teammates with his body language, keep hold of the ball. We've got this one.
Little Torreira nips in and wins the ball. Cross by Stuani, hangs too long in the air, and despite the efforts, it's just about kept it in play on the far side, but the momentum of the attack is gone. Carlos Sanchez tries to resurrect it, passes back behind him to Cáceres, scoops one over the top, too far ahead of any of his teammates, and that runs through to the goalkeeper, Rui Patricio. What do you think of Torreira? Arsenal apparently sniffing around. Would he be the kind of player that would, you know?
He's wholehearted, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the mould of N'Golo Kante.
Yeah,
diminutive, busy, tackling, running.
Does the kind of work that nobody wants to do, the ugly work, puts the tackle in, gives it to somebody better than him, but he's always there, he's always making it uncomfortable for his opponent.
He's only 5'6", he's been a wall today. Here's Ronaldo, is this the chance? Into the penalty area, immediately Jimenez comes in to slide and crunches it away from him. Suarez tries to hold it up, right through the back of Suarez was Font there, but referee says it's a fair challenge, no problem with that. As Carlos Sanchez picks it up for Uruguay, and we glance up towards the clock, and there's 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go, and Uruguay are now within touching distance of a World Cup quarter-final. This talented squad, this talented generation, if you like, with Godin and Suarez and Cavani, is this to be their World Cup? They've got France in the quarter-finals if they can hold out for just a few minutes now. Laxal is fouled, and they'll waste as much time as they can over this free kick.
You've got to say, Laxal's been absolutely fantastic today. He's had to deal with so many players down that right side, but he stood firm, he stopped crossing, he's trying to move forward himself, but he's just been clattered there. He's done a great job. He's just watching the replay here, and he's just counting to the referee. 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times I've been pushed and kicked, and he's done nothing, the referee.
Free kick to Uruguay. They take their time over it. Godin, 10 yards inside his own half. 40 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Ronaldo still not got his chance in this game. It's going to be shepherded by Pepe, out for a goal kick. Portugal back to square one. No messing about from Rui Patricio. Ball was still rolling as he takes the goal. Oh, the referee says it's still rolling.
It was rolling.
Less haste, more speed.
Exactly. I've told you before, hand on play. Make sure the ball stopped, then play. Rolling ball. Correct decision.
That's only wasted 5 seconds, but they don't have the 5 seconds to waste. Here is Rafael Guerreiro on the left-hand side for Portugal, who've had so much possession, so much territory, but in truth they've created so few gilt-edged opportunities. Ronaldo now, 12 yards outside the box, steadies, shoots outside of the right boot, and it nearly went out for a throw. It was so far wide. There are going to be 4 minutes added on for stoppages. 4 minutes for Portugal to score, or they go home.
Yeah, Ronaldo just trying a little bit too hard now. He snapped at his last shot. He did nearly go out for a throw-in, actually, yeah, but he needs his mates to help him out. They haven't tonight.
Fernando Santos has the expression to those 4 minutes as if you told him up was down and night was day. He's got 4 minutes. Excuse me, 4. As if like it should be 104. He is not having 4 minutes.
Absolutely not.
4 minutes will do Uruguay ever so nicely. We've played 45 seconds of those already. Free kick to Portugal inside their own. Well, come on, this is it. Kitchen sink time now. They're going out of the World Cup unless they get a goal.
They have to. Pepe's got to get up there. Font's got to get up there. Even William as well. Get them all in the box. Yep. Don't lose it now. Your centre halves have gone up.
William, who never seems to leave the central third, to be fair to him. Manuel Fernandes over to the left to Guerreiro. So this through Bernardo Silva to Guerreiro. Manuel Fernandes made a good run into the penalty area there. Now Bernardo Silva, delivery too high for Ronaldo, who falls to the ground, but he's not fooling anyone. To be fair to, actually, I don't think he's trying to deceive the referee there. I think he threw himself so acrobatically trying to get the header that he was forced to fall over. Rui Patricio comes way out of his penalty area. Suarez nearly got there ahead of him, and is it kept in play? It is by Ricardo. Suarez runs again. Portugal have possession. Played by William onto Font, and now over to Guerreiro, and they've no time to waste. Ronaldo back to Guerreiro once again. Now Manuel Fernandes, the man who came on as a substitute not so long ago. 10 men back behind the ball for Uruguay. Guerreiro in the crossing position. Ronaldo's in there. Oh, they can't produce the cross. It's one back for Uruguay by Carlos Sanchez. He clears it away up to Luis Suarez, who's just got to hold on to it now. Suarez runs into William, runs and bounces off Bernardo Silva. He's a machine, Luis Suarez. Now he sends in the cross. This is the chance, but stretching. Christian Rodriguez couldn't get there. Luis Suarez, that was sensational.
Yeah, just doing it for his ball's rolling again. They tried to take a quick one, but the ball's rolling again. Referee sent it back. Great ball from Suarez, but he was absolutely shattered when he got there, wasn't he? He didn't really want it.
We've played 2.5 minutes of stoppage time. There's supposed to be 4. 90 seconds remain for Portugal in this World Cup of late goals. Can there be one here as Mario Fernandes tries to crack one in, bounces off Torreira, who works hard but ultimately gives it away to Andre Silva. Now he picks out Quaresma. Can he deliver for Portugal? Goes around the defender. Looks like he was fouled. Referee says no, get up. Oh, it was Vecino who committed the foul, and a yellow card is shown, I think, to Ronaldo. If it is Ronaldo, he would miss the quarter-final anyway, should Portugal go through. He was complaining that there was a foul at Quaresma in the penalty area. I think that's a foul. What do you think, Dion?
I thought the referee had given back, actually. Quaresma,
Stuani,
nudges the ball past him, and Stuani brings him down. I think it should have been a free kick, but Ronaldo's face on the screen, look, he's livid.
Well, you don't need to be an expert lip reader to see an insult that Ronaldo shouted right in the face of the referee, and that's why he has been shown the yellow card. So even now, even if he produces the heroics, if he gets his team out of this mess and into the quarter-final, he would not be able to play. Mind you, he didn't play a whole lot of the European Championship final, did he, in Paris, and they still came through without him.
Yeah, that's true. I think Portugal have just left it too late. They've not taken the opportunities to cross the ball as many times as they should have done tonight. Uruguay have been excellent.
It feels like Portugal's goose is cooked. We've now played the 4 minutes. Quaresma forward for Andre Silva, charges down that right wing. Ronaldo's in the penalty area, but can they get it to him? Laxal is doing Trojans work down there. Here's Pepe, who's up in midfield. Font is up as well, the two central defenders. Now Bernardo Silva. This is last chance. Guerreiro, left-hand side, swings it in. Players falling all over the place. Quaresma controls, shoots on target, saved! Saved by Muslera. There was all sorts of bodies throwing themselves on the ground. It's got out for a corner, it ain't over yet. Corner's taken quickly, too quickly. Rui Patricio's coming up. It's frantic in Sochi. It's do or die now for Portugal.
There was 3 Portuguese players flying in. All 3 of them slipped over where the ball was. Wow.
It was like those things in the wrestling where all the wrestlers are in the ring at once. It was bedlam. Here comes the cross from Fernandez. The goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, headers it, disappears for a handball. Nothing doing with the referee. Uruguay get it away. They're celebrating, but it ain't over yet. They're celebrating down on the bench. Play is continuing. 2-1 Uruguay. Deep in stoppage time. Guerrero hits it up into the penalty area. Muslera, with the catch of his career, has probably put them in. However, the drama never stops. They're going to the VAR for a possible penalty, a possible handball in this World Cup of drama. Surely not, Dion Dublin. Surely not. They're going to the VAR. However, it's not going to be a penalty. Jimenez did not intentionally handle the ball. Surely it's over now.
It has to be. Surely the referee can't. No, they're not. I'm not sure what the referee's doing. The ball stopped. The game stopped.
He's listening. I think he wants clarification that it's not a penalty. But we've been given the indication here. They've done a check. The check is over. Penalty not awarded. I think it probably does touch his arm, but unintentionally. Last glance at the watch, whistle to the mouth, and it is all over. Today is the day the Galacticos go home. Messi's home, Ronaldo's home. Uruguay are into the quarterfinals, and it's thanks to 2 goals from Cavani from the very top drawer.
Yes, listen, they absolutely deserved it tonight. Organisation, stubbornness, Godin at the back leading his troops into battle. Cavani coming up with 2 unbelievable goals. Suarez playing his part as well. Portugal just couldn't raise their game to the same level as Uruguay. Uruguay deserve it.
Cristiano Ronaldo walks over to the referee. He gives a shake of the hand, a nod of the head. And this is the trouble in football. It doesn't matter how good you are, you cannot win them all. Portugal, for only the second time under Fernando Santos, the second time in 4 years, have they lost a competitive game, not including penalty shootouts. Uruguay, for you, Dion, do they deserve it?
Yeah, I think they've been strong tonight. They're very, very organised. The 2 centre forwards, we've said it all night. You know, Cavani works so hard, then he has a calf problem. He comes off. Suarez now running the line. Stuani comes on and plays his part. But for me, the 2 centre halves, Godin and Jimenez, strong. The keeper, strong. The back 4, they were superb tonight. Gave Portugal nothing.
Well, it's now become an opportunity for someone else to become the great player of this World Cup, because it's not going to be Messi and it's not going to be Ronaldo. It'll be Uruguay to play France. They have beaten Portugal in a real battle by 2-1.
What an extraordinary day at the World Cup to kick off the knockout stages. Earlier, France beat Argentina by 4-3. And as Connor was saying, Lionel Messi goes out of the World Cup. He's never scored in the knockout stages of this competition, but then neither has Cristiano Ronaldo. He and Portugal are out at the same stage. They've been beaten 2-1 by Uruguay in Sochi this evening. Dion, 2 very different games with very different emphasis on them. But this one, although maybe it didn't have as many goals, it wasn't full of the same attacking flair as we saw in France-Argentina, it was equally enjoyable.
Yeah, it was an amazing game, Kenny. The intensity here from the fans as well. I'm looking down at the ground right now at the pitch, and all the Uruguayan players going to the left as we look. If you were looking out the dugout to the left, going over to their fans, they've got blue and white scarves around their heads. They're celebrating. The players are all hugging each other like they've won the final. This was the game that they had to get by. I think it was a very difficult game for them, this one. Well, they've come out with it with flying colours.
By the way, Kelly, how many of England's nemesis from recent tournaments are out now? Germany are out, Argentina are out, Portugal, who've always been a thorn in England's side, they're out as well.
I have to say, Connor, I didn't think it'd take an Irishman to bring it round to England. But look, back to the game itself. Edison Cavani, I know you like him a lot, Dion. 2 goals in this game, went off injured, but he's out and involved in the celebrations now.
You know what? Yes, he's a very good player, and he scored 2 very different and 2 very brilliant goals. But it wasn't that it was so good about him. It was his hard work. He was in defending. He was tracking back. He was making sliding tackles. He allowed Luis Suarez to do his stuff. What they do well, Uruguay, is they allow each department to do its job. Let the defenders defend, let the midfield players create, and the forwards will put the ball in the back of the net for you. Very simple, but very effective.
Guillaume, before the game, you said we've seen this film before. We've seen the one-man team, or the team with the star player against the well-organised unit. Did it play out how you thought?
Basically, yes. This is definitely the victory for team effort. In fact, today is a reminder to everybody, including those new fans of football that appear in World Cups, that it's not the best player, or the individual who wins games. It's very rare when that happens. Two well-drilled teams, France getting better, or definitely better today than they've been in the World Cup, but certainly Uruguay, who maximised the potential that to a proportion that we've never seen before, this impossibly small country of 3.3 million people, reminding us, everybody, that everything is possible as long as you work for each other, as long as you work really hard without the ball. And that's what they did. They scored first, and then they defended. They experts in making a whole game where nothing happens, but of course there was always a chance in a set piece. In fact, they had two opportunities, Portugal, of actually beating Uruguay. One in a set piece, which they did in the corner. Previous to that, they passed the ball 3 times inside the box with 1 touch, and that was the other way, with a lot of individual quality. But that's very difficult to do with a national side, this kind of synchronization between attackers. It doesn't normally happen. But the set piece happened, and after that they still had the opportunity to attack, and that 2-1, when they scored, it was like, no, Portugal cannot do it again, not against Uruguay. It's the only goal they conceded in the whole World Cup.
The Uruguay fans are not leaving the stadium in Sochi. Tim Vickery joins us on the line now. They're still celebrating, Tim, and we saw right from the outset, when the anthems were being sung, Uruguay fans in tears, the players looking absolutely focused. They were all hugging each other before the match even kicked off. Why was this such a big victory for Uruguay?
Because they've travelled with real hopes, and the song that one of the songs that they're singing throughout the game is all about how they're going to be champions, just as they were the first time. They won the first World Cup in 1930, and they're in the last 8 of this one, although Portugal pushed them all the way. What a dramatic second half, and Uruguay actually had a little bit of fortune, because Bentancur, the lanky midfielder, he's coming off. There's a hook in him, he's coming off. He's going to come off. They were going to bring on a left-sided midfielder to try and block Portugal a little bit more down the flanks. So he's just about to come off. The ball falls to his feet. Glorious sideways pass for Cavani, 2-1. So had Bentancur come off, had that happened just a few seconds later, then the course of the game might have been a little bit different. But Uruguay deserved their good fortune, I think, for a wonderfully, typically resilient performance. And, just a question here, how many yellow cards did they pick up?
None, was it?
None. A grand total of 0. All that stuff before. It's a little bit like your mum used to say. It's much harder to get much harder to lose a reputation than it is to get it. And all those things that were said before the game. This was going to be a bloodbath. The referee was going to be distributing cards, like giving out invitations to his daughter's wedding. We didn't have any of that. We had 1 yellow card at the end of the game for Cristiano Ronaldo. No yellow cards for Uruguay.
And yet, Dion, it was still a physical performance, but a fair physical performance.
Yeah, listen, they work so hard, Uruguay, as a team as well. Towards the end of the game, last 10, 15 minutes, they weren't squeezing up high. They would allow Portugal to have the ball. And they were just saying, if you're going to launch it into our box, we will deal with it. We don't mind the physical battle. We'll put our head in where it hurts. No problem whatsoever. They did it. They did it from the minute one. They deserve to win tonight through a team effort. Guillaume said it himself. When they play as a team, they've got a little sprinkling of quality as well. That quality showed tonight, but the team effort is how they won this game.
And we now know the lineup for the first quarter-final. It's going to be France against Uruguay. How do you think that one's going to play out, Guillaume?
It's interesting because we've seen the performance, the individual performance of the tournament in Mbappé. He can only grow. I think it's his era, is the Neymar Mbappé era about to arrive. We said goodbye to Messi and Ronaldo. He's still got something to give us, of course. But with Mbappé growing in this tournament, even though he's only 19, you have to say that that will be the thing that will beat a very organized Uruguay. If in terms of individual quality, especially with Cavani missing, Uruguay will suffer a little bit more, and they love to suffer. They love not to have the ball. They're happy with that. But France seem to have put another gear and are slightly favoured. So
is that key, Tim, knowing that teams don't want to play them, knowing that they're prepared to do the dirty work, if you like, Uruguay.
Yeah, perhaps it's not easy to look good against them, and they're quite happy with that. They've added more